What a terrible week.
I've just been so like I put this on Twitter. I feel like I need therapy just to deal with the level of the amount of propaganda that I've seen over the past few days, just over these protests. It has like there have been like I'll be sitting in my room just blurting out like, "Oh God," like I'll just be like just to get out the anger, anxiety. I'll just be like saying shit after reading some garbage I'm seeing or watching some shitty video like Dana Bash on CNN or Morning Joe, Al Sharpton. Like it's all just such fucking garbage. Like Fox News, of course, they're of course all shit. And look, to be clear, usually, often MSNBC, CNN are as well. But it's like the level of propaganda. The thing with the chains, the bike chains.
Oh my God. Like that should be deeply embarrassing to everyone involved. He should have said that like before it happened and looked down at the chains and been like, oh, are we doing this? We're really gonna fuck it. All right. We're like that's yeah, I can't believe that.
I guess I should. I mean, if I don't know if people have been in a cave all week and didn't see this story, I guess I could bring this up.
I on my stream last night I went through all this stuff. But let's watch it together, obviously. I this really like sort of invigorated me. Like honestly, like the past couple of months, you know, after, you know, I still do what I do, but like I haven't been, probably people may have noticed if I haven't, you know, I tweet maybe once or twice a day, nothing crazy. But then I saw this shit and I had to like jump back into Matt Binder mode on Twitter and just go fucking balls to the wall nuts on this. Like this was insane. Like this was like propaganda to the like that I haven't seen since the BLM protests of the summer of 2020, when we saw the same shit about outside agitators coming in and how it was Antifa doing this and that.
Was that on? Was MSNBC doing that though?
I don't remember.
I feel like this is like another. This is like an extra level. Of course, all the conservative outlets were like, you know, doing all the BS.
Well, I remember in 2020, I actually gave testimony to New York AG Letitia James about what I saw firsthand at some of the protests with the cops and how they were, and on top of that, the conspiracy theories they were spreading online. I don't know if you guys recall, but a NYPD member went on TV, I think it was like Fox News or something, and there was a QAnon mug in the background. And I was like,
yes. Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that. And I gave her testimony because I was like, this is ridiculous. Like someone with some sort of oversight needs to be aware of what's going on here. And so I gave testimony to them. This is that all over again. In fact, it's even worse because the mayor this time around is not only like just like quietly endorsing it, he's full on giving them the green light to go fucking nuts like this. He's part of it. Yeah.
He was sitting right beside him in that press conference where they, instead of a mic drop, it was like a bike lock drop, you know, where just said like, listen to how heavy this is. You hear that? You know, this.
Oh, we could play that too. That was so absurd. Here, let me play this video first.
Go ahead.
Right.
Tell us about this change.
Yeah, so when we entered Hamilton Hall, this is not what students bring to school. Okay, this is what professionals bring to campuses
No,
and
they
universities.
sure don't.
These are heavy industrial chains that were locked with bike locks, and this is what we encountered on every door inside of Hamilton Hall. And so in order for our emergency services group to enter into the building, they had to first cut through these chains, but also get rid of debris and barricaded doors that were barricaded with refrigerators, vending machines, chairs, you name it. They pushed it up against those doors to try and stop us from coming in. But our guys would not be stopped. They did a fantastic job of entering into that location.
Okay, I want to pause it here because I want to find the picture of these very locks.
Well, first of all, as the resident New Yorker here, I can tell you right now that these are kryptonite bike chains. In fact, that specific.
Did you know it's called the Forget About It?
The New York Forget About It. Yes, it's literally called the New York
What?
Forget About It.
I'm locking my bike over here.
I've seen these on every regular cycle. Like if you're a regular cyclist in New York, which there are a lot of, you see these wrapped around every single bike. I'm not even talking about like you see them when they like need to whip it out to chain it up to a fence or something. You see these wrapped around a bike when they're moving. They're so visible on every single bike because basically if you live in New York and you regularly ride a bike, you've probably had it stolen at some point. So you learn that lesson and then you spend the money to get this incredibly strong New York, forget about it, bike lock and chain from Kryptonite. Everyone has it if you're a regular bike rider in New York. And not only that, but the school itself, Columbia, was selling these bike lock and chains themselves on. So
you're saying they're encouraging the protesters to barricade themselves because they're selling this for them. I see. I see.
And the police are out there claiming these are industrial chains that no student could ever have or even get their hands on, which is bizarre because let's just say for the fuck of it, these weren't sold at the school and they weren't your average bike chain. There's hardware stores all over New York City. You could get a bike lock and a chain. You can just get a lock and a chain anywhere in New York. It's New York. They sell everything and everything. It's the year 2024. There's Amazon warehouses all over around New York City. I can get almost anything sent to me by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning if I order it right now. This is ridiculous.
The idea that you can buy a gun, but you can't get a chain. You can legally purchase a gun. Oh, these chains though. Oh, you need the black market to get these chains. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's so stupid.
Like, I could order anything right now and have it in my hands within just a few hours. It's like ridiculous.
Nice. Hell yeah.
And then if you want, I can share the Al Sharpton one as well. Like this clip is this comparison to January 6th.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous to put in people's minds like, hey, if we're gonna call that out, why don't we call this out? Because they're completely different.
It is so stupid.
I didn't see this.
Trump, like, it's
Let me say this: the politics of that, what is being about them not doing that, Joe, where you and I agree. How do the Democrats, how do all of us on that side say January 6th was wrong if you can have the same pictures going on college campus?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Like, how stupid is that thought process? Like, do liberals really think the problem with January 6th was that the Trump protesters, the Trump rioters, the MAGA guys, the Proud Boys, the militias, the 3%ers, whatever, the QAnoners, that the problem with them on January 6th was that they broke a few windows? The whole point of January 6th is they were trying to stop the election results from being certified. They were trying to subvert the election. They were trying to actually
prevent Mike Pence
subvert
from certifying them.
Democracy. Like, that was the whole point. Like, even if you're one of those people who think that's overboard or whatever, that's still the argument. The problem with January 6th was that. Not that they broke a few windows. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I also like him being like, did you not realize these two images are similar? I was like, when you play Call of Duty, do you think you're witnessing the Battle of Stalingrad in real time? Like, I don't get that logic. Yeah, but different things can be different still. It's wild, like.
Also, after he said that, I don't know if you all heard, but Mika Brzezinski was like, you can't compare it to January 6th. She said it sarcastically because she said that a couple of days earlier and there was criticism. Because it's really fucking stupid to say that this is indistinguishable from January 6th. If you think that your brain is broken, you are a stupid person. But there's been so much shit about these protesters on Fox News. What's his name? Mark Levin. He's not Lennon. Mark Levin. He said he had a guest on that said that this is basically Hitler Youth. They're anti-Semitic. We're watching Hitler Youth across the country. I mean,
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, there's no depths to their dishonesty. And then Biden today released a statement calling these protesters violent, didn't bother to address the violence being done against them by cops, by pro-Israel agitators, just said they're violence. He's going to have to get their votes. How's that going to work out? I mean, the people who you need.
He doesn't care. He's choosing Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu over Trump.
Yeah. It's done. It's over in terms of like
he's so cooked.
Right.
He's cooking himself.
Yeah.
I already know how I'm voting in November. It's done. It's done.
Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is. Vandalism, trespassing, breaking windows, shutting down campuses, forcing the cancellation of classes. None of this is peaceful protest. And that's not him describing the fact that every university in Gaza has been damaged or destroyed. Like, if you care, like, that's like, we've been listening to people waste so much time talking about broken glass at one of these campuses. You hear, apparently the students broke a glass. There was glass on the ground. Glass shattered. They broke a glass. And it's like, what the fuck? Why are we talking about this? Why are you mad about this? Why are you concentrating on this? Why are the students protesting? Mainstream media is completely fucking this story up. If anything, they're just accelerationists. They're making it worse. They're like, you should be reviled if you see police officers beating peaceful students. Like, that should just in your core shock you. And people know this, which is why they're trying to do this. Like, hey, look at the chains. Look, Hezbollah, Antifa, Hamas, MS-13. They've all collaborated. The Chinese and the TikTok. They've made them into super soldiers, and now Antifa is releasing them onto you. Like, you have to, they're dehumanizing students now the same way they've done to Palestinians, right? They did that press conference today where what Tom Cotton was calling the things little Gazans or little Gazas is what he called them. He's like, each one of these encampments is a little Gaza and is anti-Semitic and needs to be destroyed. I was like, what, are you gonna bomb campuses, Tom Cotton? What are we doing here? Did
you all see Josh Hawley and his comment about these protests compared to what he said about Hong Kong protesters? It's funny. He was like, expel them, all this shit. And then somebody pulled up a tweet from 2019 of him talking about Hong Kong protesters and was like, these university students are being brutalized by cops. It's so disingenuous. And I think
I bet you every lib has one of those. I bet if we went through the Twitter of every single fucking blue, no matter who lib, they will have a Hong Kong protest tweet. I almost, there's probably a name for this law. There should be an internet law rule named after that. Yeah.
You don't even have to. You don't have to go back to Hong Kong. It's happening right now with Ukraine. Like, it's unbelievable. Like,
true.
Like, it's
they have the emojis in the names, and they reply to you, and you're
like, there's more Ukraine. Like, the whole thing. Like, oh, I can't believe they replaced an American flag with the Palestinian flag on that one campus in New York City. Oh my God, I've seen more Ukrainian flags up than I've seen American flags. Like, are you kidding me?
I can say the same for Vancouver. There was at one point more Ukrainian flags all over the place than there was Canadian flags. There was just like Ukrainian flags everywhere. And by the way, Eric Adams has held up an Israeli flag numerous times. There's Israeli flags in the NYPD hanging up right next to the American flag. Like,
of course, in general, liberals love bringing up like this thought process we saw with Mika Brzezinski right there, and Al Sharpton, and then the flag stuff. Like, oh, these protesters, why Palestine? Why are they so obsessed with this? Why aren't they protesting Russia with you? We're on our country is on the right side in that. What am I supposed to protest? What am I supposed to protest? We just sent Ukraine billions of dollars, and you know what? I'm not one of those people who's against that. I'm fine with that. We're on the rare right side of something. What am I supposed to protest? Putin, you can't hide. What am I supposed to do? Putin's not listening to me. Who am I supposed to fucking listen? Wait, what am I supposed to protest Putin for? Oh no, Matt Binder isn't protesting me in New York City. I got to really quickly evacuate the plans to invade Ukraine. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, they don't. Do they? I don't know. I don't know if it's stupidity or they honestly, like, they don't get the obvious connection where it's the U.S. government is funding this. Their universities are
invested
intertwined.
In arms manufacturers.
They're invested in this.
They are very clear about their demands. They want them to divest.